我们现在正在
往里走，往里走，那个人出不来。往里走，那边去。
Anybody here?
我来了，我去了。小心小心！我下去，我下去。从这儿的。谢谢谢谢。
Be careful.
因为现在这个地形比较严重，我们这个正在前往去解救前方有一个被困的居民。
We are witnessing very sophisticated landscape here, and we have identified a stranded person right in front of us.
我往路上，因为这个看这个水流还非常的急的。
Because the road has been turned into a river.
大概目测我们现，
然后去进行挨家挨户的寻找。
目测这个。
So we're gonna go door by door and check if there are still anybody left behind.
而这个道路呢，因为水变浅了之后，这个通风沟，而我们的战士到这种路上的时候就是徒步。
The water is getting shallower, so we cannot continue with our rubber boat. So that is why we jumped off the boat. We are wading in the water. The good news is that the rain is getting smaller.
然后因为那边水太深是吧？
Because the water is getting very deep over there, so we have to pull the boat to the place. So because the road here in this village is very bumpy, and at some of the places the water could reach your neck level, so we cannot keep walking, and the two evacuation staff, they just went there to pull the boat, and when the boat is ready we can evacuate those villagers left behind. So our soldiers, they have been on top of this rescue mission for one whole day yesterday, and we have learned that they have only rested for like 3 to 4 hours, and then they quickly resumed their efforts. And the personnel and staff from Henan Rescue, they are dedicated to this mission. All the eyes are on the 3,000 villagers who are stranded in this flood. So that is why today we came here, and we want to bring you the latest about the conditions here. So we already have in place all those evacuation staff, and you can see that under the joint efforts of the local village committee, all the villagers, they have been transferred to a higher ground, and just now you saw a rubber boat sailing right in front of us, carrying villagers from the village. It's pretty shallow here, but the water in front of us is getting much deeper, so we decided to pull back the rubber boat. Alright, you can hold this and let me just go and help.
现在这个我们的战士正在把船只往前拉，因为中间有一段它地不平嘛，中间有一段它是位置非常浅，然后但是前面又非常深，人没有办法徒步走到这个营救的地方，所以只能把船只拉过去。
And because we have very deep water in front of us, so we have to rely on this boat.
Because 那个地方比较浅，所以就是如果拉的话非常耗费体力，船只没有办法往前。
So they are right now at a very shallow place. So if they just pull, it won't work. So that's why they ignited the engine of the boat.
因为旁边还有这个碎石和一些水下的不太熟悉的状况，我们这个
There are a pile of rocks. It's very narrow and you don't know what is placed on the ground. But the encouraging news right now is that the rain is turning smaller.
Oh, 好好，哎，小心小心。到了这个前方水势比较深的地方，然后可以看到
So we're getting to an area where the water depth is quite significant, and you can see it's almost a big river in front of us, which was actually a main street of the village.
像这个位置有收费区吗？
对，在这个位置我们也是有这个。几个人啊，大家？
So it is here that we have spotted some residents left behind, and we just told them not to walk ahead. So the water is very deep here, and there is a very strong current. So we'll be there right away. Just hold on a second. Well, let's tie the boat to this electricity pole, because this is truly very strong current in a river, and we have to stabilize the boats. And now we're gonna first get the kid. Don't be afraid. Sit down. How many people do you have in your family? 5. Is that your grandma? Watch out. Watch out. Put your legs in. Finally, you're here. Put on a vest and sit down. Come this way. All right. Climb in the boat. Now let's get the other baby. Get the other boy. Take the vest. Be careful. Do you feel cold? You can roll off your pants. Do we still have someone in the house? Sit down. So I just climb in. How many people do you have in the family? So we have 5. Gonna put on more clothes. So be careful. We are ready to go. So it's pretty deep there. It's also very deep there. It's reaching your neck level. So they have people left behind in every house. So they are all staying at the home, and if you check all the houses on your right, you will be able to find them. I cannot reach them by telephone because the telecommunication network is cut off. You just need to shout out loud, and they will be able to hear you.
我们看到，咱们这个战士们是现在把这个船是。So
what you now see is our soldiers pushing the boat, and they're gonna turn on the engines and reach the houses far away right in front of us.
村里这个这个地况比较复杂，然后。
Because the landscape in the village is very complex. Some of the places you need to walk down from the boats and push it manually.
我们看到现在我们面前的这个房子的地势还是比较高的。院子里呢是没有怎么进水。
You can see that this house right in front of us is located on relatively higher ground, and water is not coming into the courtyard of that house. Watch out.
小心。往前走点儿，走，带点劲儿。这水流。用我钩擦一擦。 的出蒙州市已经进入了这个道路，去救援这个。
You can see that right now our boat is right on the way to evacuate those villagers out from their house.
目前咱这船是已经救满了。
So there is an elderly person in that house, and you can go to that house and check. So you have everybody on the boat? Yes, and this one is fully packed. So how many boats do you have? We have 3 in our team.
都是这个以3只为一个小队是吧？
So you are put into teams of 3?
这2天
yes.
这个来回有多少遍大概？
So how many round trips have you made? I think for today alone, I have made 9 round trips to the village. We came here at 4 o'clock in the morning. Truly, this is very challenging, but pay attention to safety, especially when you need to walk down a boat and push it. Thank you very much. So is everybody from your family on this boat? Yes. So your house is pretty high compared to the other houses. But do you have water in your house? Yes, and it's roughly 1 meter if you talk about the water level. So yesterday it was the house was half submerged in water. So today the water level dropped, and yesterday it was roughly at this line. You can even see the grass and benches on a tree. And yesterday it was pretty scary. It was water all over the places in my home. Within 2 hours, and the water level raised by 50 centimeters. So this is Xinxiang village? Yes. All the villages in Xinxiang village, they were evacuated. Yes, from yesterday they have been successfully evacuated. But the efficiency is picking up here today for this village because I see a lot of the evacuation teams are working here. So yesterday I talked to one of your fellow villagers, and he said that he felt very relieved after seeing evacuation crews deployed to this village. Yes, you're right, because we saw the hope from all of you. We were raising a lot of cows and oxes. All of them were gone. The loss is pretty significant. So the rain is getting bigger, but still it's much smaller than when we set out in the morning. So the precipitation in Henan over the past 2 days, they have been on a decrease, I believe that with the efforts from all the rescue missions and evacuation teams, we'll bring everybody to a very safe condition. So which grade are you in? I'm in grade 5. So do you have some classmates in the same village? Yes. Are they evacuated? Yes. So how do you feel when you see the PLA soldiers are here? I feel very relieved. I learned the news from yesterday, so I have been waiting for them. And we heard that the soldiers were here yesterday, so we have been waiting. And we had a lot of panic during the flood. And it's pretty scary because we were worried about subsequent dangers, so that is why we moved all the gas cylinders to the second floor. And we were also worried about the electricity, so we cut off the electricity of the house. But for now, please rest assured because we're going to bring you to a place that has electricity and has food. My refrigerator and washing machine, they have both been flooded. So right in front of us, we have another boat that is evacuating people. The villagers, they're talking about the loss that they have encountered. The property loss compared to human life is nothing. So at this challenging moment, we have to first and foremost ensure our personal safety. As we learned just now that we have 3 evacuation teams, and each team has one rubber boat. You can see in the distance our soldiers. They are carrying the residents from their homes. Take a look at the corner, and you will find out how complicated the landscape is in the village, and the current is pretty strong. And at some of the most challenging places, we have to get down a boat and push it manually. But when the water is pretty deep, we have to get back on a boat and keep rolling. So truly we have made a great deal of efforts in this evacuation. There are 3 villages stranded in Qiandaoxiang and Houdaoxiang villages, so there's a lot of concern on our side. So that is why the evacuation teams are here, transferring the people out in a very orderly fashion. Everybody is in good conditions, as you can tell. The command office outside the village is sending out orders and instructions effectively, and outside the village we have a temporary settlement center providing basic life supports with food and beverage. Now on our left you can see that there is another boat approaching us. I believe they have just evacuated some residents to temporary settlement centers, and if you look further you will see 2 more boats.
们在这个救援的时候，也是希望我们的救援人员一定要小心。
So on our evacuation mission, we try to remind everybody to pay close attention to safety.
我是在这个因为有水浅的地方，帮忙这个推舟，也是一不小心。
Because I tried to pull the boat at a shallow part of the river, and I fell down on the ground and I hurt my legs, and you can see the bruise on my legs. And I can tell you it's pretty hard wading through the water. But our soldiers, they have made a lot of round trips from yesterday and today. You can see what water level we're having right here. It's pretty strong current, and I believe the water level is still rising because just now it was reaching my waist level. So our PLA soldiers, they will need to board on our boat. If we turn to this side, you can see how strong the current is, and when I was pushing the boat in the water, I can feel it personally, and you need to use a lot of strength to simply stabilize your body, and it's pretty challenging to wade in the water. So when you are undertaking the evacuation, you would carry some first aid supplies? Yes. So let me tell you again that we are at Weihui City's Xinxiang village. When the evacuation mission learned that there are still thousands of villagers stranded in the village, they just quickly sent a couple of teams to the village, and they built a temporary settlement center outside the village, and we are right now evacuating those villagers out. According to the temporary command center, multiple teams have gathered here, and they were actually here since 2 days ago. And so we are now on board of boats of the 83rd Army Unit. So at a different place, the evacuation teams, they are using a professional life-saving boat of Henan Corporation, you can see that one of the teams have brought everybody on their boat, and they are ready to meet us here in the corner, and then we're gonna transfer to the intermediary site, where we're gonna bring everybody on a big truck, and they will be further transferred to the settlement center. We'll be providing the villagers with food and beverage and some daily necessities. And we also have some firefighting personnel working on this. We have volunteers from across the country. You can see that it's still raining, and the rain is actually getting bigger, and so let's untie the rope and release the boat from the electricity pole. So you can see that the village has been turned into an ocean of water, and the road is now the river. And truly this is a very complex landscape. So now we are ready to meet the other boat and then return to the intermediary site. So how deep is the water? It's 1 meter deep. So may I know your name? You can call me Lee. And they are my neighbors, actually. So this is your house, correct? Yesterday afternoon, the villagers of Houdaoxiang, they learned that the rescue mission and rescue team, they are here, and they feel very relieved because in Qiandaoxiang village, almost all the villagers, they have been successfully evacuated. When they learned that the soldiers were here, and they felt quite relieved. In the face of natural disasters like this, our soldiers did always spare no effort in holding out a helping hand to the general public, to the people that are suffering. So in front of us we have another boat fully loaded with villagers that's left behind. So we are meeting that boat, and we are ready to go back to the command center all together. If you look at the entrance gate, it's already a water level of 1 meter, and the typical layout of the houses here is that in front of every entrance door there is a small ramp, which is a little bit tall, and I can tell you on the ground here the water is pretty deep. The average depth of the water is around your waist level. So the water level has already dropped compared to yesterday, and if you look at the wall, you can still vividly see the mark left over from yesterday. So we are very lucky that the water level dropped significantly today, and we are right now transferring the residents to a much higher ground. The heavy rainfall in Henan province this time is truly unprecedented. The heavy downpour has resulted in waterlogging in a lot of the places, and this is also a heavy flood for the villagers here. And yesterday we were at Xinxiang City of Henan province, and we were at a town called Miyi, and a lot of the villages, a lot of the vehicles, they were flooded to faraway places. In the face of natural disasters, and you can see how strongly united everybody is under the leadership of the coordination efforts. And yesterday we saw all types of evacuation teams from all over the country, and we saw people from Shandong and Anhui provinces. And when we were in Gongyi City, and we saw a voluntary rescue team from Beijing, which drove overnight to Henan province. And there are also a lot of the voluntary teams supporting the local clinical hospitals, and there are a lot of the civil society organizations, and there are also donations from all walks of social life that are swimming into the province of Henan. So right now, multiple teams are on the rescue mission, and again, right now we are at the Houdaxiang village of Weihui City. From the team that I'm covering, and they have 3 boats that are evacuating people outside this village. When disasters like this happen, and we should stop worrying about the losses of our property, and the first and most important is our personal safety, and nothing is of more importance than our life. And the evacuation team, they are tasked with saving people's lives, and that is their most important task. Our rescue personnel and all the soldiers, and they have been working tirelessly on this mission. And in this mission particularly, you can see that the ground conditions are very sophisticated. So we have every gratitude towards all the rescue personnel. From yesterday until today, we have made 10 round trips from inside and outside the village. Watch out. because the road here in this village is pretty bumpy, and some are highland and some are lowland, and that is why some of the waterlogged area is pretty deep, and in some areas very shallow. If you are also in a place that is flooded, you can log on to the mutual help platform of Elephant News. You can leave a message there, and we will immediately direct the information to relevant authorities. Also, because of the heavy downpour, if you are cut off from electricity or communication networks, you can ask for help from your neighbors and friends. And I call on all the rescue personnel to pay high attention to their own safety. It's very hard to maneuver the boat in such complicated landscapes, given that some of the places are pretty badly locked by water. You can take a look at my leg. I bruised my leg because I fell on the ground. In Houdaoxiang village, the road is not very flat, so that is why occasionally we will have to get down a boat and rely on our feet. So here it's getting shallower, and at some of the sections you might be obstructed by some obstacles. So there is a minivan that is stranded right on the road, and you can see that the water has already submerged its wheels. And multiple rescue teams are on top of this evacuation task, and they are all working on the front line to evacuate people out from the village. We want you to know that the evacuation teams, they already working on the front line, and we want to bring comfort and relief to the people stranded in their homes. That's where we are right now. You can see that the water level is pretty high, and it's pretty deep water, and it's super deep, I guess, and it's more than 1 meter, so we cannot allow our suitors to get down the boats, and you can see how strong the current is. You can see how severely damaged those doors and windows are by the flood. And here you can see a pig, another one. Watch out. Make sure that your hands are inside of the boat. Don't hold it out. Well, this is pretty ferocious flood here, and you can see that this is a temporary center for storage of grains, and you can see how much of it has been submerged by the water. The rain is getting smaller, and this is quite encouraging. Pretty strong current here, and we are going against the tide, and it's pretty challenging. So beneath our boat is actually a section of the wall. So we have to be pretty careful. So the soldier is measuring the condition with a long stick, and he just said that we cannot cross here. So we just measure the landscape, and it's pretty challenging because we have a section of wall beneath the boat, so we cannot take this road. So we plan to make a detour. Because the water has submerged a lot of things, and you don't know what is in the water. So we have 3 boats in a team, and the other boat of our team is trying with that route right in front of us. It's pretty deep water and strong current. You don't know what is in the water, what is on the ground. So, what is this place of the village? it used to be a cropland, but right now you cannot see any of them. So what is this place? Well, I believe it's pretty dangerous here, and you don't know what is underground. You can see how strong the current is. So that is a barn, and you can see that some of the grains they are still there, but one side of the wall has been destroyed, and you can see this big crack on the wall. On our left, you can see the livestock there. There's a huge pigsty in front of us. I believe the pig came from the pigsty. So we have 3 boats in this team. Altogether we have 3 teams. And we are the 3rd boat, and I believe there are 2 boats in front of us, and we are teaming up, moving together, because we don't have the clear knowledge about the situation here on the ground. At some of the places, the depths of the water could reach 10 meters. The weather is getting better. You can see the sky is clearing up. What is this place? So it's a cropland. It's basically farmland. You cannot see the crops anymore. So it used to be a cropland for the corns, and you cannot see them at all. You can only see the very top part of the corns. So waiting for the remaining boats, the other boat of the team, and we have to team up and return to the temporary center. Are there still many people in the village? Well, after 2 days of evacuation, I don't think there are too many people left behind. Well, to know the answer to this question, you have to shout out loud in a village. They're kept in their homes. So later we're going to transfer you to a big bus, and the bus will take you to a temporary settlement center. So as long as we have everybody here and we don't talk about the property losses, then that's nothing compared to our life security. I want to say thank you to the PLA soldiers, and they are sacrificing their own lives to get us out of our own danger, and they have been here for 3 consecutive days, and truly they are making great efforts, and we thank them for what they are doing for us. The PLA and the Communist Party of China, they are working tirelessly to save us. We never thought that we could be evacuated this soon. There are multiple teams that are on this evacuation mission. Our soldiers and our flood control personnel, they are working around the clock to make sure that everybody is successfully evacuated. So this is a massive rainfall, and it's an unprecedented downpour in the history of Henan. I've never seen such heavy rainfall. I'm not young, but I can tell you I have never seen such a unprecedented downpour. In 1998, China had a big flood in the Yangtze River, and we had a lot of rain, but even in 1998, the farmland was not destroyed, and there was not so much water at that time. Truly, you are working very hard for us. We have never seen a flood like this. I thank you for helping us out at these difficult times. I cannot thank you enough for what you are doing for us. This is a very challenging moment for the village, and if you look around you, it's water everywhere, and we are very thankful for the PLA soldiers and flood control personnel for reaching out to us. This used to be the land of my unit, and this is the tree of our village units, and you can see how much of it is in the water already. And I can tell you with great certainty, and the water here is at least 2 meters deep, and to this part of the water it's at least 8 meters deep, and because we have a very big ditch here, and it's at least 8 meters deep. Because I have a farmland at this place, and it's pretty deep, I can tell you with great certainty. There's a big pitch in this part of the village. You can see that truly the landscape here in this village is pretty complicated, and this is very deep. There's a big ditch and big pitch here. How many meters do you think the depth is here? I think it's at least 8 to 9 meters. And to that side, it's another pitch, and it's very deep. So now you can see how challenging the environment is in this village. The rain has almost stopped, and we're still on the boat waiting for the other boats of the team. And we are right now at Qiandaoxiang and Houdaoxiang village. We are following our rescue missions to evacuate people out of the village. In our team, we have 3 boats. We are right now avoiding the rain under the tree, and as we have been emphasizing that this is truly a very challenging situation in the water, and you don't know how deep it is and you don't know what is buried in the water, so we have to team up. We're waiting for the other boat of our team. So we are right now waiting for the other boats of the team, and as we mentioned that in this mission we have in the mission that we are covering, we have 3 teams, and each team is equipped with 3 boats, and we are carrying these local villagers to an intermediary settlement center where we have a big bus, and the bus will take them to another settlement center. As we have learned in Qiandaoxiang and Houdaoxiang village of Weihui City of Henan province, and there were roughly 3,000 villagers stranded in the flood, and this is a massive rain covering almost all parts of Henan, and this is an unprecedented flood that has cut all the villages, a lot of the villages out of electricity and water. Even the shallowest part is around the kneecap level, and some of the very deep places have water depths reaching your neck. So we are here. This is, I believe, the 2nd day, and yesterday, if you came here, the water level could be much higher. As I learned from the residents here, most of their fellow villagers, they have been successfully evacuated. So we are here to just tell you that you can feel rest assured, because multiple evacuation teams are working on this. Our firefighters, our flood control personnel, and rescue corporation, they are all working on this, and they have provided a lot of life-saving boats. In addition to local forces of evacuation, we have also seen evacuation teams sent from all over the country, including voluntary teams from the civil society. So now if you look at the surface of the water, you can tell that the rain is still going on, but compared to yesterday, the rain has become much smaller. Well, this will make everything a lot more smooth, and this is a good piece of news for us. So right now we are going to the intermediary center. You can see that we are literally boating above the cornfield. The water has almost submerged all the farmland. So we are right now on board of boats provided by the 83rd Army units. We have 3 such boats in a team, and right now we are sailing towards the intermediary settlement center. One of the soldiers is maneuvering the boat at the end, and the other soldier is checking the directions at the front part and also assisting with the people getting on and off the boats. And in the village, we have very bumpy road, and the road condition is pretty challenging. And at some of the places, the soldiers, they have to get out of the boats and wade in the water and to pull and drag the boat. But right now we are sailing on very deep water, and you can see right in front of us we have another boat. Because this is very narrow alleyways of the village, so we have to slow down just to make sure that we can aim our targets and also ensure the safety of the passengers on board the boat. You can see that most of the villagers of Houdaoxiang are successfully evacuated.
我们可以看到这个回去的路上，因为这个村庄的下边路况也是非常复杂的。
So on our return journey, you can see that we are still sailing above the road, and that is flooded, and there are shallow places and deep places, and if we are at a shallow place, then we might get stranded. So it's pretty challenging situation. So that is why we have to move as one team, and one team has, as I mentioned, 3 boats.
我们可以看到，就是在村子里的这个水位啊，已经到电线杆的一半了，已经到电线杆的一半。
You can see that half of the electricity pole is now submerged by water, and here it started raining again, but compared to earlier this morning, the rain has become much smaller, and this is encouraging news for all the evacuation personnel because this can help accelerate our pace. And we are right now again at Qiandaoxiang and Houdaoxiang village of Weihui City of Henan province, and we are on board of a life-saving boat of the 83rd Army units, and just now we have evacuated a number of residents that were left behind, and now the rain is getting bigger, as you can tell from the surface of the pond.
这个水面上还是有很多的一些漂浮物，有的一些是从家里面的家具啊，还有一些农作物。
There are a lot of the objects floating on the surface of the water, and some of them are home appliances, and some are just crops that you see originally in a farmland. And you can see the whole farmland is underwater. And this is a cornfield, and you can only see the very top part of the corns.
该是这个是什么形状？看着应该像个一样的吧。那几乎已经
What is this place?
快没过那个房顶。
This is a pig farmland. So you can see that the roof is almost in water.
我们现在正在这个向转移点行驶。我们上岸之后，我们这个被困群众呢。
So we are right now sailing towards the settlement center and at the intermediary center, and they will board on the bus. The bus will take them to another settlement center where they can have access to food and beverages and also some basic life supplies. The rain is getting bigger.
.其实昨天呢，我们也了解了一下，就工作人员说呢，那上面最多能承载大概有100多人。
So yesterday, as we learned that the big boat can carry 100 people at one time, and you can see that we have a very big motor boat on our right. So did you tell your relatives that you are in safe hands? Yes, we just told them. Are they from the same village? We have some family members that are working in other cities, and we just made a call to them. We told them that we are right now at a very safe condition. There's a lot of worries, not just from your family members, but also from fellow countrymen and people from all over the country. And so we are here covering this mission because we want to tell the rest of the country that you are in safe hands, because all the evacuation teams are here evacuating you out of the situation. So right now we are evacuating people from Qiandaoxiang and Houdaoxiang village, and later we're gonna be at a temporary center where the residents, they will board on the bus, and before they're transferred to a temporary settlement center in a city. So at that place they will have food and beverage and some basic supplies. So you can see that we are sailing on very vast water here, and I was just told by the villagers that this is their farmland, but right now you cannot see the crops anymore because all of them, they are now underwater. You can take a look at the tree and see how much of it is now submerged by water. And there can be a lot of unknown dangers. in water. So that is why we have to work as one team. In our team, we have 3 boats, and behind us you can see a gigantic boat, and that is provided by China Henan Rescue Corporation. And they call it a floating bridge, and it's literally like a bridge which can carry 100 to 200 people. Yesterday evening, Henan Rescue Corporation, they worked around the clock to quickly evacuate villagers out of the village, and this morning they joined our team, and so we are conducting this mission together. So this is a factory plant. You can see a lot of facilities and machinery displaced and scattered all over the place, and most of the machinery and factory plants, they are submerged. Behind us, you can see another boat. I had a conversation with the residents on board of our boats, and they said that they are pretty severely damaged because their crops, their home appliances, and their homes, they have been destroyed by the flood. But in the face of such natural disasters, we have to always put in the first place our life security. All the other properties, then they are just secondary compared to our life. So when we encounter the rescue teams, we have to cooperate, and we have to let go of some of the properties, and everything can come back to you except your life if you lose it. So now we're getting close to the bank, as we have learned. The residents, after they evacuated, and they made a telephone call to their friends and family members, and later they will be transferred to a big bus. The bus will carry them to a temporary settlement center. So on the big bank of the river, the flood river, you can see that the temporary command offices are working in a very orderly fashion. In addition to the command center, the command office, we also have ambulances standing ready to provide you with some emergent care. Soldiers standing on the bank, and they are giving us a helping hand, so we are ready to pull over. Watch out. Now you can see that all the residents, they are successfully transferred to the bank. More hands here, please.
我们这个三只小船，第3只上面的被困群众还正在下完之后，我们这个救援人员呢。
So you can see that the boats are unloading the passengers, the residents just evacuated, and as we speak right now, and those soldiers they are getting ready to make another trip back into the village.
其实现在我们看到大部分的这个一直在有我们的被困群众在上岸啊，我们一会儿呢有这个。
So as these people are getting on the bank, later a bus will come to bring those people to another place. So our soldiers are quickly getting ready to make another trip back into the village. And right now at Weihui City's Houdaxiang village, we are covering the evacuation team from the Army 83 unit. They are right on top of the mission, and they are now getting ready to make another trip back into the village. So this is getting to the end of our program today, and we will stay tuned and update you about the latest.
新闻记者嘉义，今天呢，我们是来到了这个京港澳高速的下口，现在再往西走。
I'm with Elephant News, and we are right now at the Beijing Hong Kong Macau Highway. And if we walk further, we're gonna be at Xinxiang City. Xinxiang City is one of the most severely hit in this flood. And you can see that this is the red cross of Xinxiang City, and they have quickly set up a temporary settlement center. And here we can also see a lot of the volunteers from many different parts of the country. And this gentleman is from Xuzhou, who is a veteran. So what do you have with you? I have instant noodles. I also have a lot of plastic bags ready to be turned into sandbags. How many people do you have in your team? We have just 2, and 2 days ago we were in Zhengzhou, and this is the first time in Xinxiang. So why do you come here? We came here because we believe we have a responsibility. Are you not afraid? We're not afraid of the flood, and we have to play our part as veterans. So you can see that we have a staff that is taking down your names if you need to make donations to the locals. And here we have another rescue team from a social organization called Zebra. Later, I can tell you that when we were here, since we arrived here, all the trucks, all the vehicles, they are running and they are carrying emergent supplies. So how many names have you registered? I have registered pages of their names. They're from Henan, they're from Jiangxi, from Pingdingshan, and one even came from Guilin. You can see a whole truck of life vests have been transported here, and they will be sorted out, and later they will be transported to Xinxiang City.
什么时候过来的呀，大哥？
刚过来，我刚过来。
刚过来是吧？
When did you come here? I just came here.
写错了水，我这20件吧。20。
喂，朝下麦。
有，你说我们这儿有音标。
我们这上面有音标。
那就是19件吧。什么？家长好。
我想问一下，咱几点都开始忙啊？从上午都开始。
So we need to start to get busy on this. We started from early in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. So what is this warehouse for? So these are some of the donations that we have collected. We simply pile them up here. So where are you from? We are volunteers from Red Cross Society. Are you local here? Yes. How severely damaged is your hometown? Well, because we are at the South Ring, we are much better off compared to other places. Well, thank you for doing this for the people of Xinxiang. Yes, we witnessed and we suffer from this flood, and I think it's meaningful that I go out and make some meaningful effort. So how many trips have you made? This is my first trip here, but I came here at 6 o'clock this morning. So what are you carrying? So this is only water. This is one full truck of water. So this is a donation from an individual. Yes, it's an individual donation. So you were just entrusted by that individual, by that donor. Yes. Do you know who donated this? This gentleman here. Well, say something. Where are you from? I'm from Luoyang. Well, you can refrain. You can cover other donors. How many boxes of water have you transported here? 400 boxes, actually. What do you want to donate? Because I learned from the news that Xinxiang is severely damaged by the flood. Alright, you can see that this very compassionate man is also very shy, and we thank him for what he's doing for Xinxiang. And this is the highway from Beijing all the way to Macau and Hong Kong. And you can see that there are countless trucks that are carrying supplies donated from all walks of social life. And this one is from Lankao City, Lankao County of Henan Province. So we are right now reporting from the highway exit, and in a few hundred meters ahead of us there is the exit of the highway, and you can see that countless of trucks, they are carrying donated supplies to Xinxiang. And here we have a zebra voluntary rescue team. We have a lot of the very compassionate people, and they're willing to make a donation. And a lot of the people, they are very compassionate, and they immediately get into action and hold out a helping hand. And now let's ask several questions. Now let's have a brief interview with the volunteer from Zebra. So are you with Zebra? Yes. So how severely damaged is Xinxiang? Which district is the most severely hit? Because I just arrived here, I don't have full knowledge about the devastation. So what are we here for? We are here donating supplies. So are you keeping a record of those? Yes, we are keeping a record. And you can see that everybody is very busy because trucks of goods are being donated here. And let's have a quick interview with this gentleman. So what did you donate? I just came from Xinxiang City. I donated water. I donated 1,400 boxes water. Where did you come from again? I'm from Xinxiang. So why did you come here? Well, because I know Xinxiang is severely hit by the flood, and then we learned that the locals they are running in shortage of water. So we're from the wine business, and I believe it's proper that we donate some water. All right. And we also interviewed a veteran who came all the way from Xuzhou, and he brought with himself some instant noodles and water. So we're from Nanjing. We also donated a lot of goods. We're not able to arrive at the last destination, so if you have your own truck, and you can do the rest of the job. Where are you from? We are from Jining of Shandong province. Fantastic. Well, this is a full van of supplies. And what do we have here? We have water, we have food, we also have some medical supplies, disinfectants, and I also bring some nutrition beverages so that they can quickly supply the soldiers. And I just drove 220 kilometers. I can make a round trip every day. All right, this is my sister. So when did you come here? I came here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we actually exited from the Henan Economic and Development Zone, and along the road we have been hearing people say thank you, but we want to say thank you to Henan. What do you want to thank the people of Henan? Because we experienced some technical difficulties with our van, and we just pulled over at one of the repair stations, and the boss of the repair station, they quickly helped us repair our van and without charging us, and so we are very grateful for his help. And so we're just saying thank you to each other. I like this atmosphere. So this is the spirit that we need. We need to help us mutually, and this is truly a very good atmosphere that we need to develop on a society. All right, I'm gonna quickly register and then unload our truck. All right, can I have a few words with the driver? but you can maybe cover more compassionate donors. So you can see that I'm meeting a lot of very shy but very compassionate donors, and they're willing to help make a difference. Well, let's have a quick interview with a sister from Zebra. So how many hours have you been working on this? Well, I've lost count of the hours and just came here after breakfast. What do you do as a job? Well, I'm a stay-at-home mother. I'm just taking care of my baby. After I sent my kid to school this morning, I just come here to Zebra. So what do you want to be part of the Zebra? Because the Zebra is a civil society for donation, and it's simply transmitting positive energy. I think it's a meaningful job that I do. We are helping negotiating all the donations. So tell us more about this temporary center. All right, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, and this is the live coverage on the flood control in Henan, and stay tuned, and we'll bring you more in the next few hours.